The New Jersey Devils. Once a team without roots, they have found a permanent home in the meadowlands of northern New Jersey. In 10 years, they have filled the hearts of Devils fans with cherished memories.
Torella sends it for Murkowski, back behind him, here's Bill in front, score!
They were a fledgling team, filled with young men battling against overwhelming odds.
Adams racing in! He scores!
Finally, achieving success and recognition as a force in the National Hockey League.
Torella takes a shot, saved by Peg! Reavis score! They did it! They did it! The Devils make the playoffs for the first time in their history!
It was truly a triumph of spirit.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to begin the 10th season of New Jersey Devils hockey, here they are, your 1991-92 New Jersey Devils.
Two-on-one with Marawa, but he's on the reach.
Opening night of the New Jersey Devils' 10th anniversary season was an occasion to celebrate the pioneering spirit of this hockey club. This is a franchise that was rebuilt brick by brick from the ground up. This night's emotional 7-2 victory symbolized the Devils' deep commitment to excellence. This franchise can now consider itself among the NHL's elite. But in 1982, it was a different story. Before 1982, professional hockey did not exist in New Jersey, except in the mind of a visionary man named John McMullen. Strong-willed and determined, McMullen engineered the move which took the Colorado Rockies and gave them a home in New Jersey. The new team would be called the Devils.
And it's a great name because it combines the folklore of the southern part of New Jersey with the meadowlands here. And also in Webster Dictionary, the devil is described in a very interesting way. It says that it's a person of notable energy, recklessness, and dashing spirit.
This dashing spirit was in evidence on opening night, 1982, when team captain Don Lever wrote his name in the history books. It was the first goal in Devils history. 3 days later, they made history again with their first sellout and first victory.
Torella sends it for Murkowski, back behind him, here's Bill in front, score!
With a power play goal by Merlin Malinowski, the Devils defeated the New York Rangers and instantly created one of the most intense rivalries in all of professional sports. The new Devils fans quickly identified with their own brand of heroes, like the kid line of Paul Gagne, Jeff Larmer, and the then 24-year-old Aaron Broughton. Fiery forward center Hector Marini and and leading scorer Steve Tambolini were becoming fan favorites overnight. But the devil they loved best was known simply as Chico.
For me, the people were always great. I mean, and I don't even know to this day why. I mean, I wasn't a great goalie, but for some reason, the people liked me. I thought, well, if they like me, then I better come to play.
Glenn Chico Resch was the type of person who exuded optimism. Many nights he seemed to preserve victory simply on the strength of his own convictions.
Lights up, shooting, saved by Chico off to the right. Just let him shoot, I gotta see if they're good. I'll get him, I'll get him, I'll get him.
Although blessed with all-star ability, it was his personality that made him so popular. He'd go to almost any lengths to help the team.
They asked me if they could put a mic on me. Now, like, a lot of people are superstitious, and I said, well, all right, we can do that. So I remember they put a mic on me, and I remember I got a cramp. We were playing the Rangers.
I got a muscle cramp here. Ask me to get me a salt tablet and a glass of Gatorade, and I'm gonna have to have a drink or something in a bit.
They used that on an earlier tape, or they used it on the game, but I really felt ridiculous.
In the end, it was the Rangers who were hurting. The upstart Devils would pound out a hard-fought 4-2 victory. Even more impressive was the fact that coach Billy McMillan and the Devils would finish the year tied with the Rangers in their very first season series. Other than success against the Rangers, Devils fans had little to cheer about during the team's first year. It was frustrating, not only for them, but for the players and coaches as well.
In professional sports, everybody involved are paid to win. Everybody's efforts are directed to that, whether it's a player, whether it's a coach, the management, and so on, because that's what the fans pay for. I mean, they can appreciate hard work and so on, but there has to be some results.
And it's concentration and knowing what we're having to do. And that's your responsibility.
The Devils faced a long uphill climb. They were learning lessons in courage and dedication at the School of Hard Knocks. The ultimate insult came after a loss at Edmonton, when Wayne Gretzky referred to the Devils organization as Mickey Mouse. But the following year, the Devils found out revenge was sweet.
Racing along with Jackson, got a shot, he scored!
On December 17th, 1984, at a sold-out Brendan Byrne Arena, the Devils exorcised the ghosts of seasons past.
If the Devils hurry, it's a 2-on-1. Gagne moves in, has Trottier in front, throwing his stick was Gretzky. That'll be a penalty shot.
Rocky Trottier would take the first penalty shot in franchise history. To that point in time, it was the biggest goal the Devils had ever scored. It triggered a 5-2 rout of the Oilers. But more importantly, on that night, Mickey Mouse was laid to rest.
It was one of those all right games, you know, and the guys were pumped. And, you know, like that night, the guys were feeling, you know, on top of the world. So it was a night that I'm sure everyone who was a part of that game remembers.
The patience of the Devils fans and management was being rewarded. Under coach Doug Carpenter, the Devils were improving one step at a time. team captain, Mel Bridgman, provided veteran leadership.
Front, save, score on the rebound.
Youngsters John McClain and Kirk Muller were now taking center stage. Muller burst on the scene as an all-star in his very first season.
Here's Muller again. He's got a man open. Shot. Score! Short-handed goal for the New Jersey.
In time, he would become not only the team's captain, but also its all-time leading scorer. The veterans could now sense a growing feeling of confidence.
We could see that the Devils' future wasn't necessarily immediate, it was in the future. Even for me personally, that was one thing that kept my spirits up, was that, you know, if we got some good young players, if we make a couple of the right deals here, hey, by next year we can be competitive.
Muller's got a man in the middle for big, a shot, score! Oh, did he rip that? Belichick takes it, save, rebound, score! A 2-on-1 break the other way, Loisel with Brown, over to Brown to Loisel, shot, score! Oh, did he root that baby? Claude Loisel right up under the crossbar. Grant Pure never had a prayer, hello!
The prayers of Devils fans appeared to be answered in the fall of 1987. 1 month into the season, the New Jersey Devils were sitting atop the Patrick Division, the hottest team in hockey.
Quickly will take it deep in front, score! You won't see a prettier goal than that!
By Christmas, however, their Stanley Cup Express was derailed. In January, hopes for a playoff berth appeared dim. Management responded with a shot of pure adrenaline in the form of a fiery new head coach named Jim Schoenfeld.
Jimmy brought a charisma, stature, a presence to our team where I think the players looked up to him. They had respected his style of play, his enthusiasm, and he was an extremely positive individual. Jim Schoenfeld, in my mind, will always go down as one of the most important people to turn this franchise around.
Broughton trying to center, does. Shot, save, rebound, score! Fourth goal of the game for Patty Verbeek, and the Devils lead 6-5.
Jim Schoenfeld convinced these players they were winners. Game by game, they battled back into contention. On March 3rd, rookie goalie Sean Burke arrived from the Olympics and erected a seemingly impenetrable wall in front of the Devils' net.
Ronnie and Miller, shot, save, Burke! Rebound, loose, Burke got it and he tipped it away!
The pieces of the puzzle were now falling into place. The Devils were poised for one of the most memorable stretch runs in NHL history.
Scores! Oh, a short-handed goal! Doug Brown puts the Devils on top 3-2.
It began on March 20th, 1988. 2 short-handed goals in the third period gave the Devils their first ever win at Washington. Along the way, St. Louis, New York, and Pittsburgh all fell victim to the surging Devils.
Nice turn to the middle. Shot, save, rebound, score! Claude Loisel! A rebound shot and the Devils lead 3-0.
On March 29th, Sean Burke stoned the Penguins in a 4-0 victory. It was his first ever NHL shutout.
He goes back to the point. Coffey, Lemieux in front. Shot saved by Burke. Rebound shot saved by Burke.
7 straight games without a loss set up a climactic confrontation with the Chicago Blackhawks. on the final day of the regular season.
Winding up, takes it, score! Kenny Daneyko, and the Devils lead 1-0.
A victory would propel the Devils into the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. But Chicago was not about to make it easy.
Driver, Wolanin, shot, save, rebound, score! Patty Verbeek, power play goal at 19:52, and this game is tied at 2.
The proud Blackhawks responded to every New Jersey charge. Trailing 3-2 in the third, the Devils turned up the heat.
Mark Johnson in, Johnson the shot, save, bang, rebound, he scored! Johnny McLean puts it in, and he's tied the game up at 3-3.
Right near the crease, I just kept barreling to the net, and the puck was there, and I just put it over Pang, and just to tie it. And we were excited then when we tied it, but we knew it wasn't gonna do us any good to tie. We had to win.
This pressure-packed thriller extended into overtime, tied at 3. With 2:39 left in the extra period, John McLean again took center stage.
Kept in by McLean. Good job. McLean centered Sundstrom. Sundstrom back to the point. Joe Cirella. Cirella got in. Cirella takes a shot. Saved by Pang. Rebound. They did it! They did it! The Devils make the playoffs for the first time in their history. John McLean, the overtime goal. And
it
they
was
win it 4-3.
Such a great thrill to score. I mean, everybody was like, didn't know what to do. We were going crazy, and I didn't even know what to do myself. I just put my hands up and started skating. I didn't know what, it was just unbelievable that we had finally done it.
For the first time in the franchise history, the New Jersey Devils have made the playoffs. Jim Schoenfeld, Kenny Daneyko, John McLean got the game.
It was an absolutely incredible situation, but that goal was the most memorable goal and one of the most memorable goals in the history of the league, as a matter of fact. The impact that had on our franchise was just absolutely unbelievable.
The breathtaking overtime victory propelled New Jersey into a playoff series with the Patrick Division champion, New York Islanders. In a series matching playoff rookies against hardened veterans, it was the Islanders that received a baptism under fire. Oblivious to tradition, the Devils played fearlessly on the Islanders' home ice. While they barely lost Game 1 in overtime, a stellar performance by Bob Sauvé in Game 2 kept the Islanders at bay. In the third period, with the score knotted at 2 goals apiece, Mark Johnson broke the deadlock.
Johnson, the rebound, he scores! Mark Johnson on the power play. Devils lead 3-2.
On this night, April 7th, 1988, the New Jersey Devils made history with their first ever playoff victory and proved once and for all that the famed Islanders were no longer invincible.
McLean looking to the middle. McLean, center shot, score! Mark Johnson from Sean McLean, 2-0. The Devils lead.
2 days later, the Devils won their first ever home playoff game, 3-0, spurred on by a 31-save performance by Sean Burke. After splitting games 4 and 5, the Devils now had a 3-2 series lead and were riding a wave of emotion. When the series returned to Brendan Byrne Arena for Game 6, the Devils were just 1 win away from ousting the mighty Islanders.
Wolanin takes it, save, rebound, Johnson, save, rebound, Sundstrom, score! Patrick Sundstrom, 6-1!
With 2 goals from Patrick Sundstrom, the Devils had carved out a 5-goal advantage. But against the Islanders, would it be enough?
Trache in the middle, 2 seconds, 1 second, shot! Oh, that's it! Do you believe that finish? Do you believe that finish? The Devils have won. They have defeated the Islanders in the series, and they will move on to round 2.
the Devils had passed their first playoff test. Now, it was on to Washington. In the Patrick Division Finals, New Jersey and Washington would face off in one of the most physical playoff series in NHL records. In Game 3, the Devils scored the most goals in their history in a 10-4 rout of the Caps.
McLean with it, centered in front, Sundstrom, the Johnson, he scores!
Mark Johnson pumped in 4 goals, but was overshadowed by teammate Patrick Sundstrom's record-breaking performance.
Sundstrom coming right in on goal, a backhander, he scores! A new National Hockey League playoff record for Patrick Sundstrom, 8 points. He has erased Wayne Gretzky's name from Stanley Cup record books.
But after 6 games, the fiercely contested series was tied at 3 games apiece. The division championship would be decided in a classic Game 7 on the Capitals' home ice.
On pass to Broughton, centers to Muller, he shoots, he scores!
Although the Devils seized the early lead, everyone knew goaltending would win the series. Playing like a man possessed, Sean Burke refused to be beaten. In the third period, with the score tied at 2, John McLean took another step in Devils history.
Fires one that's tipped, they score! McLean tips it out of the air at 3-2 Devils.
Washington could come back no more. The Devils had done the unthinkable. The years of frustration and hard work had finally paid off. The New Jersey Devils were champions of the Patrick Division. The Wales Conference Championship Series against the Boston Bruins had all the elements of high drama. Emotion, intensity, and controversy characterized this series that extended to a full 7 games. But in the end, the Devils' season ended 1 victory short of an appearance in the Stanley Cup Finals. The clock had struck midnight for New Jersey's Cinderella season, but the glorious ride was a stunning portrait of how far this franchise had come. The Devils' success in 1988 came the old-fashioned way. They earned it. No player better personified that effort than winger John McLean.
Ruts!
He never backed off. He never gave in. He was always Johnny on the spot.
Boy, Ruts. Good job. Thank you. Good job, guys.
Originally picked 6th overall in the 1983 draft, the Devils always had high hopes for this talented lad from Ontario.
John was exactly what we've seen here. He was a hard-working player. He had showed an ability to score, although I think, quite frankly, in everybody's opinion who were projecting him at that time, they wouldn't have projected that he would have been as successful a scorer as he's proven in his career.
On the break, down low, McLean, shot, score! Oh, what a move! The Devils' leading goal scorer puts it in!
The Devils had always maintained a pioneering spirit when it came to improving their hockey club. In 1983, they surprised the hockey world by drafting 2 Soviet players. In 1989, they pioneered the future by by signing 2 Soviet hockey players and then a third.
I think it's changed the face of hockey in the United States. I mean, when we first drafted these Soviets, there was a lot of criticism, a lot of comment, but as of this point, I think every single team in the National Hockey League has now drafted a Soviet player.
By acquiring Soviet players Starikov, Fetisov, and Kazatonov, the Devils sent a message to the Patrick Division that they would not be deterred in their quest for the cup. New Jersey was bolstering its defense with talent, experience, and old-fashioned muscle. With the addition of Alexei Kazatonov and the maturing leadership of one of the original Devils, Bruce Driver, New Jersey was building a championship-caliber defense. In 1990, the arrival of players like Peter Stastny, the NHL's 3rd all-time leading active goal scorer, and the electrifying Claude Lemieux elevated the offense to the next level. New Jersey entered the 90s poised for a decade of excellence. They have become a perennial playoff contender in the toughest division in hockey.
Back in, shot, McLean, score!
In the 91 playoffs, they extended the eventual Stanley Cup champions to the very limit in a classic 7-game series. The Devils began the celebration of their 10th anniversary season with the acquisition of 2 proven All-Stars, rugged defenseman Scott Stevens and the smooth skating Stéphane Richer. Richer provided the team with a much-needed scoring spark when high-scoring winger John McLean was lost for the season with a knee injury. Right from the start, the fire and intensity of Scott Stevens lifted the entire Devils defense to another level. Stevens plays the game like a pit bull on skates, clearing the crease, charging up ice, and dishing out fierce open ice checks.
I think Scott Stevens is the best defenseman in hockey. As far as an all-around defenseman, he's good in his own end, moves the puck extremely well, is tough as nails, and brings great leadership qualities to a team. And he did everything asked of him this season, and then some.
He's out there every night, just checking, moving the puck in your face, and if you want to play it soft tonight, then he's just going to run you over. You have when he's out there, you know that you have to raise your game up because he's going to make everyone play.
Stevens was a mid-season All-Star in '92, and along with young Eric Weinrich, Soviet stars Fetisov and Kazatonov, tough Ken Daneyko, and team captain Bruce Driver, New Jersey had the finest defensive unit in its history, setting a franchise record for fewest goals allowed in a season.
Here's a 2-on-1, Turcotte shoots it, great save, Terry!
With the defense leading the way, the Devils jumped out to one of their best starts ever. While the New York press was busy covering the Rangers, the Devils were quietly putting together a record-breaking season of their own. New Jersey fans had to be impressed by the play of 23-year-old rookie sensation, Kevin Todd. The gritty young center played in all 80 games for the Devils and finished second among all NHL rookies in scoring. He set new team records for points and assists by a rookie, with a solid 21 goals, 42 assists, and 63 points.
Shot, score!
For much of the year, Todd played alongside fellow rookie Claude Vilgrain, whose 46 points were a pleasant surprise for the streaking Devils. While Todd and Vilgrain were the new young guns, veteran Peter Stastny put together his finest year as a Devil, pumping in 24 goals and 38 assists. The 91-92 season also saw right winger Claude Lemieux lift his game to a new level. When asked to shadow opponents' leading scorers, Lemieux would simply shut them down. When asked to add some offense to the club, Lemieux responded by leading the team in scoring, racking up a career-high 41 goals and 68 points. He is tenacious and tireless at both ends of the ice, and his presence in the Meadowlands gives the Devils one of the best two-way players in the game. By February, it was clear that the Devils were for real. They were 14 games over 500, their finest record ever, and playing with the true confidence of a winner. Key to their success was the play of one of the best 1-2 goaltending combinations in the league, Chris Terreri and Craig Billington. Drafted by the Devils in '83, Terreri played college hockey at Providence under then head coach Lou Lamoriello. So it came as no surprise to the Devils GM that Chris Terreri now stands on the brink of becoming an NHL superstar.
First of all, his personality has not changed since he was a peewee. People have always said, will he reach the next level? Well, he's always proven everyone wrong and himself right, that no matter what level he's been at, he's been successful. But the reason for that is his tremendous desire to succeed. He's a very confident individual. He takes care of himself. He's a dedicated athlete, and he has been successful because of Chris Terreri, not because of anyone else.
At home and away from the game, Chris Terreri relaxes with his girlfriend Jennifer and their dog Stubbs.
On the off days, you got to try and gear down and just relax, do anything, whatever it takes. Watch TV, go read, just get away from hockey, whatever it takes to get away from hockey.
He is his own worst critic. He puts a lot of pressure on himself. He just wants to please everyone. He's there for everyone. He plays for the fans.
In front, shot, save, Terreri! Rebound, save, Terreri!
In 91-92, the red-hot Terreri put together a record-setting 11-game unbeaten streak, at one point winning 8 in a row. And when Terreri was given a break, backup Craig Billington stepped in to post his best numbers ever. The Devils rode their sizzling goaltending to the club's best record ever. Their 87 points were the most in Devils history. But this season, the Patrick Division was by far the toughest in the NHL. And although they finished with the 6th best record in the league, their fate was to face off against the regular season champions, the New York Rangers, in the opening round of the playoffs. New York against New Jersey. The Hatfields versus the McCoys. It was billed as a war. The star-studded Rangers against the rugged workhorse Devils. As expected, the Rangers took Game 1 at home, 2-1. But 16,000 Manhattan Blue Bloods were stunned in Game 2 when the Devils' offense exploded.
Kevin Todd, side of the net. Vilgrain's in front. Backhander, he scores! Fetisov moves up, front of the net, Stastny scores! Jaworski, front of the net, Conacher bats at it, Bosman scores!
In 60 minutes, the Devils had erased what the Rangers took 6 months to earn, the home ice advantage. The Devils' 7-3 shocker at the Garden in Game 2 evened the series at 1 game apiece. Back in the Meadowlands, Devils fans were beaming at their beloved underdogs. And it didn't take long for Stéphane Richer to send the sold-out arena into a frenzy.
Couldn't get it, Richer in, score! Stéphane Richer!
Scott Stevens answered a first-period Rangers goal with one of his own.
Shot, Lemieux, deflected. Lemieux got it back. Stastny shot, save, Richter, rebound, score! Devils lead it, 2-1!
Meanwhile, Terreri was painting a masterpiece in goal. He stopped 34 shots in one of his greatest performances of the year.
Messier a little wrong. Stevens in front of him. The shot, save, Terreri! Messier the pick for him. Amati the shot. Terreri makes another great save.
Claude Vilgrain's second-period goal sealed a spectacular 3-1 victory for New Jersey.
Shot off does now. Score! Claude Vilgrain as Richter could not handle it. 3-1 Devils.
The Rangers took the next 2 games to go up 3 games to 2. However, across the river from the glitz of Manhattan, the hardcore Devils faithful remained confident.
Devils going to win this one without a doubt.
It's all Devils, everything Devils. The Rangers should win on paper, but you don't play the game on paper. You play it on ice, and there's more factors involved than just statistics. So I think the Devils are going to take them.
And the Devils would not disappoint. With the score tied 3-3, right winger Zdeno Seeger scored the biggest goal of his career.
Seeger is in, drops to Lemieux, save, Richter, rebound, score!
Peter Stastny added a third-period goal to make the score 5-3, and once again, New Jersey had pushed the favored Rangers to the brink of elimination. Though the Rangers would prevail in this hard-fought 7-game series, GM Lou Lamoriello sees the promise that lies in this team's future.
I think the New Jersey Devils reached another plateau, a plateau of consistency, a plateau that they are in the higher echelon of the National Hockey League, one in which we have to sustain. But right now we feel as though we want to put the past 10 years as a foundation and go forward. And we've done that in different areas. As you know, we're bringing out a new uniform for the 11th year. We want to be satisfied with nothing but the best, and that's all we can ask out of our players, our administration, our management, and that's where we're headed.
Cheering their team in the playoffs is the ultimate reward for these loyal Devils fans who had survived the early years.
Devils hockey's the best hockey. There it is! Come on, Kenny!
The way they check, the way they hit, they never quit.
Their love of this team sustained it on the rocky road to the top. Today, they wear the Devils' colors with a spirit of pride.
Devils! Yeah!
It's exciting and it pumps up your blood and it's great. It's fantastic.
In just 10 years, the New Jersey Devils have established themselves as one of the finest franchises in all of professional hockey. They are a black and red freight train rolling through the NHL with a very clear destination, the Stanley Cup. attracted fans whose loyalties know no bounds. There is a fiery feeling of anticipation as the Devils approach the sacred ground of hockey's holy grail. It is a marvelous journey. It is a triumph of spirit.